From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, February 7th, 2022. I want to start the video off here with a thank you to my colleague here, Spencer Gronenboom, who caught on to my coffee commentary last week and sent me a batch of Lethbridge's finest coffee here. So I am sufficiently caffeinated this Monday morning and ready to give you the forecast over the next 5 to 10 days. Just giving a quick shout out there to Spencer and his dad, Daryl, there on this Monday morning. Now, as we check in with temps on Monday morning, much of the colder air continues to be kind of pushed off to the north and to the east. We've got a ridge of high pressure that continues to build off to the southwest. Warmer temperatures continue to build in from the west and the south, and that's going to be the theme as we head through much of the next 5 to 10 days. So you look at the satellite picture here, you can see the flow up and over the top of that ridge of high pressure doing something like this. Got a disturbance right here. It's bringing some windy conditions to portions of Alberta, especially the higher elevations, some of the front range locations here, expecting a windy Monday. Much of the precipitation associated with this heading off to the north, though. As we check in with the radar, you can pick up on some snowfall here, maybe even some showers in some of the lower lying areas where the temperatures are a bit warmer across portions of the Peace River, Grand Prairie area. Maybe seeing a few snowflakes here in Edmonton, a couple raindrops possible as well. Maybe a light wintry mix as we head through the rest of the day. We'll check in with the forecast here from the NAM model, and you'll see the trajectory here. These little clipper systems continuing to ride over the top of that ridge and through the area. So here's your forecast through the day Monday. Again, a very light wintry mix possible across north central Alberta. We'll see that continue down along Highway 16 as we head through the rest of the day into tomorrow morning with, again, very light snowfall. Quiet Tuesday night into Wednesday, maybe some flurries in the north across portions of northern Saskatchewan, northern Manitoba as we get into Thursday. So over the next 3.5 days, today through midday Thursday, not expecting much at all as far as moisture accumulation, snowfall accumulation across the prairie. Accumulating snow likely to stay north of the region. As we add in the whole week, this is the European model now for the next 7 days, taking it through Sunday, February 13th. There is the pattern, just not much to talk about as we go through the coming week. And the reason for that, again, the big ridge sitting across just off the coast of the Pacific Northwest here. So again, we've talked about what do we want to see if we want to bring in high impact moisture, robust moisture to especially southern Alberta, southwest Saskatchewan, but really anywhere across the prairie is a big trough right here. We want to be sending active storm systems through from southwest to northeast, tapping into the Gulf of Mexico. So again, we're looking for a troughing here, lower pressure. That's the opposite of what we're seeing right now, this persistent ridge of high pressure. So what we get is the Pacific moisture, the jet stream comes up and over the top of that ridge. We get northwest flow through the prairie, so much of the snowfall going to be north of the region, and it's going to be light doses, not those big, heavy snowfall events. Now, this is days 1 through 5. As we look at days 5 through 10, not much change there. Troughing off to the east, ridging to the west, caught between that northwest flow, clipper systems, generally dry conditions. So we head through days 10 to 15, not much change either. Maybe a little broadening of this upper level trough, maybe flattening the ridge a little bit, but this could be the model just kind of washing out as we get to days 10 to 15. And this is not, a sudden change back toward a favorable pattern either. It's really kind of just persistence as we head on into week 2. So unfortunately, as we look for light at the end of the tunnel as far as big moisture across these regions, it continues to be a broken record of not this week, maybe as we get into the end of next week. So here's your next 15 days. The European ensemble forecast, it makes sense then. A big ridge of high pressure right here, jet stream flow coming up and over the top of that. You get a precipitation pattern that looks something like this, and that is one that generally leaves the prairie out as far as robust moisture. So next 10 days, temperature on the left, precipitation on the right. This pattern, it just makes sense with the upper level pattern that we've got. Stubborn ridging in the west. It's going to keep us mild across much of the prairie, especially Alberta and Saskatchewan, and that is going to keep us dry across much of the prairie, especially Alberta and Saskatchewan. So here's your next 10 days from the European model, just verbatim. We'll go ahead and bring it back. Here's your Monday into Tuesday system. Again, the area of low pressure tracking well north of the prairie, and that means the accumulating snow, even though it is light, misses the prairie as well. Here we go into Tuesday. This is now Wednesday. I'll leave the arrows on there because you'll just follow the storm track right along that line. This is our next kind of well-defined storm system, and it's on Thursday and Friday, missing the prairie to the north, maybe hitting you in Alberta with a wintry mix on Thursday. Get another shot of cooler air across the east, but continuing with mild and dry conditions across the west. And now we're all the way into February 13th into the 14th. Look at that, the area of low pressure here on the 15th, following that arrow, just, you know, to a T. The pattern doesn't change over the next 10 days. So here's your next 10 days of snowfall once again. Just, you know, trace amounts across Alberta, Saskatchewan, maybe a wintry mix again late week across portions of southern Alberta, but all of the accumulating snow staying well north of the prairie with this big blocking high right here. I mean, we're missing out here across the Midwest as well. No one's getting any heavy snowfall as we go through the next 10 days. So you look at your temperatures here, again, generally mild in the west. Calgary, you've got those highs anywhere from 10 to 15 as we head through Monday through Thursday. Maybe some shots of cooler air here, dropping the temperatures a couple of degrees on Tuesday and Friday. Edmonton, a very similar look, mild conditions above freezing. Saskatoon, you've got those highs a few degrees above freezing for much of the week. Regina, you're kind of hovering near freezing, and then a bit cooler as you head off toward the east in Winnipeg. Those highs generally below the freezing mark there, but a couple milder days on Tuesday and Thursday. So there you have it. Not much to talk about as far as a pattern change, continuing with mild and mostly dry conditions across the prairie over the next 7 to 10 days.